Hello everyone. In this quick tutorial we're going to talk about setting up the legends for DASView. So to get started, let's start by logging into DASView. And here we have several sample projects loaded. And we're going to go straight into our legend setting here. And you're going to see a couple new additions over here on the right side we'll talk about. First is the number of legends that you have set up. So we have a default setup. I have one for Redwood, another default copy, another copy as well. And each of these has a list of KPIs available. And within the legend, then you can set the colors if you want to. You can change the colors. Or we can change the symbol style, whether it's an open circle or closed circle. And we can also change the size of the file, or the piece there. We'll go back to medium. And the value, and then the label that's associated with it. In addition, you're going to find two new sections at the top. The first is the pass-fail criteria. So within each legend, you can establish several of your KPIs as being conditions for pass or fail that you'll see in the project report. So in this case I've set RSRP here. The pass condition is, in this case, 95% of the data points have to be greater than, and pick a value. I'll just say neg 95. When I hit save in that case, you'll notice that it gets assigned to that legend, and there's now a pass-fail identifier here under the KPI. The same thing I've set up for the CW for the RSSI. You can set 95% of the values here greater than neg 95. Let's come over to default copy 2. In this case, this 2 here represents that there's 2 projects that are assigned to this legend. And I'm also going to add an alias. So in this case, the current parameter is called RSSI, but if you're working with clients who might not understand what an RSSI, you could just call this one signal power, for example. When I hit save, it'll change it now, and the A here represents an alias. So what it means is that in the report, the RSSI is going to be called signal power. That again is in my default copy. So again, I have 3 pass-fail criteria that I've established here, and 1 alias as well. And maybe I'll change another alias. Let's come back to LTE. Let's change the LTE SINAR. People might not know what SINAR means, so why don't we call this one signal quality. Oops, let me change that over. Signal quality. Change it right. Signal quality. Something like that. I'll hit save. The 2 reports here have been assigned, but since I have not changed any of the colors or the values down here, you'll notice that there is no update button here. If, however, I went ahead and, let's say the color I want to change from this color green, let's just for example pick a different color green, and now if I hit this save button and we get the success, you'll notice there's now an update button associated with it. And what this is telling me is that these 2 reports that have been assigned to this default copy 2, they need to be completely regenerated. So the server needs to go in and regenerate all of the images because I've changed the color associated with it. So when it says update, I can hit the apply button. Again, success. So what that means is that right now, the server is going in and grabbing, if I come back to the projects, it's grabbing this project called the RSSI test, and it's also grabbing this bottom one called the Morrow's Meadow. and it's regenerating. And you'll see that here in the colors of the summary and the floor plan. Both of those are the server's in the process of generating them. If I hit the refresh button up here, the summaries are now done, but it's still generating those floor plans. Let me come back to the legend again. So again, as I change colors or values within it, it's going to need to regenerate all those images. You'll notice that there's 12 projects that are assigned up here to the default, and it's telling me that all 12 need to be updated. And that's because at some point I've probably added or changed some of these colorings or these values, and I have not updated any of these default settings, or the projects where the default legend has been assigned. If I hit apply, that's going to force all 12 of those to get processed. Now, that might take an excessive amount of time, and if I don't want to wait for that, one option is to just take the legend and I can clone it, and I'll just call this one copy 3. So now I have a default copy 3. This has all the colors, all the pass-fail that I had from before. Now if I come into the project, I can take a specific legend here, like this project, and I can assign it instead of default. I can assign it to default 3. What that's going to do is it's going to regenerate just this single project with this new legend setting. Let's come back to this RSSI test. If I come into the View Project Summary, you'll notice that the signal power, the alias has been changed. Prior it was called RSSI, now it's called signal power. So that's might be a little bit more approachable for your client. You'll also notice there's a pass-fail up here. So in the pass-fail, this allows me to assign particular criteria, and this gives you up to 5 criteria for your pass-fail. So if I hit the drop down, it says, what do I want to apply to this project? So the first one, the only one that's really available for this particular project is the signal power. And as I look at it, it'll tell me, did the building pass? So each floor, did it meet the criteria where 95% of the data points are greater than -95. If I come to this other one, you'll notice that they all failed for this particular center frequency. If I want to get more details about it, I can come into the Statistics tab. And what we'll see is that, say, my average here with a min and a max value, along with the total number of counts, data points per floor. So this will give you an idea of how much data was collected on each of the floors. And if the average here was sufficient for it. Hopefully this quick tutorial is giving you some idea of how to use the new legend option as well as the pass-fail criteria. If you have additional questions, it's always easy to send us comments if you just go to our website, .com. Down here at the lower right corner, you'll see a little life preserver, and it's the How I Can Help. If you click on that, it allows you to enter tickets if you want to, with your name, email, and a description of the problem, as well as if you want to do any searches here of frequently asked questions or any other articles or comments, troubleshooting that have come up. You can search through here as well. All right. Send us a message if you have any additional questions. Thanks.